Couple more minutes here with Trent Meacham as we look down the bench. I go to former Ohio State player Mark Titus, I believe it was, who started Club Trillion.
Yes.
And for those who don't know, it's the bench warmers who get in. You play 1 minute and then you get zeros for everything else. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, personal fouls. It adds up to a trillion. Now, these guys are not part of Club Trillion. They play more minutes than that, but they're not the first players out of your mouth when you start talking about teams. You go to Niccolo Moretti for Illinois. Why do you think he's important as a role player?
Well, he's a guy that hasn't really been a role player, hasn't played much at all, but second half against Iowa, played 17 minutes, did not play that first half, scores 9 points, makes 2 threes, gets to the free throw line. He gives Illinois a different look. This is a European-style point guard. His head's always up. The ball pops. It moves. It's so much of a different look offensively for Illinois when Moretti's on the floor, and that's what I like about it. He really gave them a spark. I love that Coach Underwood not only just played them, but stuck with them for pretty much that entire second half, and give Moretti a ton of credit for being ready to go. And he could be a difference maker, give them a different look in March.
See, this is the olive branch from Trent. He's trying to give some love to my paisan after we disagreed over the Minnesota conversation. For Michigan State, Xavier Booker, we saw more of Booker in the first half against Ohio State. It worked. I'm not sure why we didn't see him more in the second half.
7 points, 3 rebounds, 3 blocks in 17 minutes. He's a long ball threat, okay, so he can stretch the floor, he can run the floor, he can protect the rim. And again, I think this is a different player from November, now in late February. I would like to see him get more action. They would open up the court for the rest of the team as well.
And lastly, to the team that we expect to be the highest seeded team from the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament in Purdue, you know Zach Edey, you know Braden Smith, you know Lance Jones. Maybe you should get to know Cam Heide.
Well, the other week in 19 minutes, 18 against Rutgers, great defensive team, 18 points, perfect from the field, with 4 for 4 from 3. Rick, I think Heide could be an NBA player. It's premature now.
Size,
at
for
6'7", 3-and-D guy. You saw that up and under where he took off from where he finished around Clifford Morey. I mean, he has all the tools physically to play at the next level. I love his demeanor, simple, smooth stroke. He's a guy. You bring him off the bench. Man, not many teams have a guy like that. He could be a difference maker.
Almost every year, the NCAA tournament sees a player that's not necessarily a superstar, that because of the exposure and the importance becomes a household name. We'll find out in about a month's time who that player is in 2024. For Trent Meacham, I'm Rick Pizzo. Thanks for the hang on this edition of Big Ten Today.